NBC.
My knees started to hurt. It got so bad I couldn't walk very far. When I came in for my first consultation, he told me he'd get me back. They treated me well, and they came through on their promises.
Many people are told they need a new hip or knee because they're bone on bone. But if there's just a sliver of cartilage left, we can help.
It's a whole lot better than it was when I started this program.
Call 844-200-PAIN to schedule your no-cost consultation.
I absolutely feel that Tiger Lily is getting a great education with RVA. She is challenged and she's not bored. She enjoys her classwork.
I love the teachers. The teachers are the best part. My teachers are very friendly and they're easy to reach out to when you need help with the assignments. The teachers are always there when you need help.
What I love about RVA is the flexibility, first. But second is that Tiger Lily is so happy with this school, with her teachers, and with what she's learning. It's awesome.
Up North at 4 with Nate and Jeff starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Nate Myhock. Welcome to Up North at 4. Today we'll get ready to throw it down with the Harvest Hoedown. Plus, Rhinelander's Oktoberfest is making its triumphant return this weekend. And finally, Jeff and I will roast each other's fantasy football teams. We'll get to all that in a bit, but first, here's your top 4 at 4. You know, everyone enjoys being on the receiving end of a love letter, but have you ever received a letter over a century after it was written? Well, 97 letters dating from the Civil War were recently discovered in Rhode Island, and one man made it his mission to transcribe all of them. The letters were penned by a soldier in the Union Army, and they were addressed to his wife and to his children. The subject of the notes cover all sorts of topics, from asking about how his family is doing and also sharing the brutality of the war. The letters have since been donated to a museum in Long Island and will soon be made into a book format. You would think that being a part of a historic piece of art would be a pretty sweet claim to fame, but Spencer Eldon disagrees. The man who was photographed as a baby on Nirvana's iconic Nevermind album had filed a lawsuit against the band. Eldon claimed the image consisted of child exploitation. However, many people were confused because Eldon had also posed for recreations of this album cover many times. Finally, a judge has finally dismissed the lawsuit, claiming the statute of limitations has passed. And as we have learned before, it's a risky move to try and upset Courtney Love. Let's see if it works out for him. As kids, we may have managed to get our artwork hung up on our parents' fridge, but one school teacher went a step above and included her students' artwork in her wedding. When Brandy Ricard's students found out that she was going to be getting married over the summer, they decided to make some art for her. She then went ahead and displayed the art on her wedding tables. They drew pictures of what they thought their teacher and her husband would look like on their special day, and they even wrote poems about love. Next, I say Mrs. Ricard should go ahead and let her students design a tattoo for her because, you know, you should really let their artwork be a part of your life forever. This weekend, I'm sure many college football fans will be tuning in to watch the Wisconsin Badgers take on Washington State. But there is an even bigger game taking place on Saturday, and it's a battle for maybe the best trophy of all time. On Saturday night, Wisconsin Lutheran and Carroll University will meet in the Glazers Bowl. The winner will take home this replica of the iconic Quick Trip donut. I'm not sure what it is, but us Wisconsinites love our food and drink involved with our sports teams. We got Cheeseheads, a team called the Brewers, and now a donut trophy. I'm surprised we don't have a Brat Bowl just yet. And Chief Meteorologist Jeff Weller joining us now live in studio. Jeff, maybe that's what we do. We get a game together, call it the Brat Bowl. What do you think?
I don't think that's a good idea. All right, so for us, though, today, mostly 80s out there today. That's not normal. We'll pay for it at some point, right? And likely over the weekend with temperatures hanging out in the 60s this weekend. But today, just gorgeous, right? There is a haze in the air. That's smoke from wildfires across the west. It won't bug any of us, though, tonight. Overall, though, lots of clear skies today, but that won't last much longer. longer as we have some stuff on the way. But temperatures, look, we're back in the 80s across the entire area today, even a couple mid-80s across central Wisconsin. We'll get close to 80 tomorrow before a big change gets in here over the weekend. And look, there's hundreds across the Midwest right now in parts of Nebraska and Kansas. That will stay there. Our air is going to come from over here. You see where it's getting cooler? That's a cold front moving our direction, likely getting here about this time tomorrow with some rain showers late tomorrow night and off and on throughout the weekend as well. Temperatures are taking tumble, right? So we're going to go for 80 tomorrow. It'll be a stretch, right? But then overall, Saturday and Sunday, we're back in the 60s with a few rain showers around and a bit cloudy. And then a slow recovery close to 70 on Monday, and then back in the 70s on Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. Okay, so we got some stuff going on. So there are some clouds building across the north right now, but this will likely stay there. There's a stalled front kind of right through here, and it'll likely stay there tonight. But tomorrow it's going to get a little boost and move in our direction tomorrow afternoon and evening. That'll likely trigger a few showers and storms, and they could likely arrive around football time tomorrow night, if not just after that into the evening. Let's walk you through it tonight. No worries at all, just increasing clouds tonight. We should stay dry this evening, and tomorrow we're looking at more clouds kind of over the entire region with rain showers entering the picture tomorrow evening. Our forecast then tonight, though, is increasing clouds with not so low temperatures down near 60. Your full forecast at 5 o'clock.
Look, we knew the other side would make up lies about me to scare you. Now they're claiming I want to defund the police and abolish ICE. That's a lie. I'll make sure our police have the resources and training they need to keep our community safe. And that our communities have the resources to stop crime before it happens. I'll bring back manufacturing. And I'll pass a middle-class tax cut. And if that's too scary for Washington, then so be it. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Carpet City.
Come to Carpet City Flooring Center and get the toughest waterproof floors in the industry, where they're in stock and on sale. Rigid Maximum XL is 50% thicker and 30% longer, resulting in maximum durability, which is perfect for active families and pets. Not to mention, it's easy to install. Come to Carpet City Flooring Center to get your Rigid Maximum XL waterproof floors today.
Carpet City. Our prices will floor you.
At Legacy, we transform your old, beat-up concrete into a beautiful, durable surface in one day. Hi, I'm Joey with Legacy Concrete Coatings. We specialize in garages, patios, pool decks, basements, and more. We don't just coat over your old concrete. We start by grinding it down, then we apply the base coat and chip and seal it with our own proprietary sealant that will never chip or peel. Our coatings are beautiful, durable, ridiculously easy to clean, and are backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. Our in-house team is ready to answer any questions that you have before and after the install. And right now on all projects, we're offering 15% off. Call the number shown below or visit our website for your new floor today.
Day floor.
Join us for the Fall Cruising Car, Truck, and Bike Show, Saturday, September 17th from 9 to 3 as part of Colorama at the St. Germain Community Park.
Welcome back to Up North at 4. Guy Hansen, Courtney Smith joining us now from the Rhinelander Area Food Pantry for the Harvest Hoedown. Coming up in 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. What's going on with the old hoedown? It's a fun word to say, too, by the way.
Yeah, well, this is the 7th year we've had it now, and every time we add a little bit more, but it's a free event. It's at the Woodpecker Barn Grill east of town on K.
Okay.
And kids rides, we've got Western Connection will be there with their horses and wagons, and the Women's Club will be there with a ton of baked goods, and Roger is going to be there with axe throwing this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds like danger.
New this year. We're excited. We have a craft sale, and we'll have craft demonstrations as well.
Okay.
Tons of kids' games, and we have a delicious pulled pork dinner. So that's exciting, too.
Yeah, that's what I needed to hear. So this is, you show up, you hang out, have some food, some drinks, some crafts, and there's also a bunch of raffles going on, if I'm not mistaken, right?
We have live music all day long, four different groups or people. So on the hay wagon stage.
I feel like you can't call it a hoedown without
a hay wagon stage.
Without
hay wagon stage.
I feel like it doesn't officially count as a hoedown.
All right, Courtney. So this is an event to raise money for the food pantries.
That's right.
You've been involved with it for a very long time. Tell folks about what the food pantry does.
We offer 3 shopping days a week for registered customers. So in addition to being a food pantry, we also have a lot of different programs. We serve children and youth. We just ended our Hodag food wagon, gave out over 500 bags of food for the summer. We're about to launch our Hodag Snack Attack in the Rhinelander School District.
I love how they name everything.
I know. This is to make sure that kids have snacks throughout the day. And of course, our Weekend Food for Kids program will launch in October. Right now, as we speak at the pantry, they're giving out Badger State food boxes to registered customers.
Love it.
So there's always something going on at the pantry.
Definitely, yes. And the work that you guys do is fantastic for the community. But of course, like, you got to get money to do so, and this is where the hoedown comes in, right? So
this is our major fundraiser. We only have 2 or 3, and we depend on the community to help us provide food for the people that need it. And this is a good way to come out and have some fun.
Yeah.
The weather will be perfect, of course, right?
Of course.
Put our order in.
Even if it's not, we'll have some tents and things up. It's almost all outside. The only thing inside is the bake sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in front of us here, I feel like we just got to answer the elephant in the room here, right? What's going on this little table right here? What is this?
So we brought a sample of one of our raffle baskets.
Okay.
We'll probably have over 12 at least raffle baskets, which is really exciting. So they're beautiful. And then we're also hosting our Packers football raffle.
Ooh, very
so
nice.
You've got 3 chances to win. The first prize are 2 tickets.
Very nice.
For about the 40...
First prize is right there.
All right.
We have them happy, but
Third row, 45-yard line.
45-yard line.
Love it.
Then there's second prize tickets.
35-yard line, about row 27.
Row 27. And then third prize would be this amazing autographed Packers football.
Can I touch it?
You can. You should.
I was nervous too before. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna.
If you buy a raffle ticket, you can own it.
I love it. I love it so much. So
cool.
you buy tickets there for these raffle gifts, and of course enjoy food, drink, live music, the whole 9 yards.
Kids games, free kids games.
And this is at the Woodpecker, correct?
That's right.
All right. And this is going on all day, or what's going on?
11 to 5.
11 to
5.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, thank you guys.
There'll be food all day.
Love it.
Music all day.
Love it. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to come chat with us. Of course, we wish you guys the best of luck in putting on this event, and of course, make sure this guy gives you some good weather as well. But in the meantime, we're going to take a break. On Up North at 4. We'll see you on the other side.
Okay, thank you.
Like most people, I bust my butt day in and day out. I earn every dime of my paycheck. It's the Wisconsin way.
But Governor Tony Evers supports paying welfare benefits to people who won't work, even after they turn down job offers.
That's a disgrace.
That's a disgrace.
It's a slap in the face to hardworking people like us.
Tony Evers should know better.
Tony Evers should know better, but he doesn't.
Tony Evers, our failed liberal governor.
Hit the green while taking in the beautiful backdrop of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Young's Golf and Recreation has a challenging course for all skill levels. With scenic views and a sprawling landscape, you'll feel like you're on your own personal course. Enjoy the 19th hole at the Fire Brick Bar and Grill for unique pub-style food and drinks. Keep the fun going over a weekend with a cabin and pontoon rental on Chicago and Lake. Experience Young's Golf and Recreation and get away today.
The 2023 Ford F-150 trucks are coming, meaning more ways to haul, tow, go, and do, and with more ways than ever to make it your own. Plus, if you order now, you'll lock in your price and lock in your rate. Do more in a 2023 Ford F-150. Custom order yours today. Lock in 2.9 for $60 and get $500 retail order bonus cash when you order a Ford F-150. Only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
The Socialist Squad led the charge to defund the police and eliminate bail for dangerous felons. Now violent crime is surging in Wisconsin.
More people have been killed in Milwaukee this year than in any previous year.
Mandela Barnes attacked the Kenosha police and incited more violence.
The officer's deadly actions attempted to take a person's life in broad daylight. This felt like some sort of vendetta.
Mandela Barnes, dangerously liberal on crime.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
With the right tools and a little hard work, you can do it yourself. And with the right kind of paint, you can finish the job faster. Pittsburgh Paints and Stains exceeds your expectations with products that can cover your walls in one coat. So instead of another coat of paint, you can finally get outside. One coat paint means time better spent. Pittsburgh Paints and Stains, exclusively at Menards.
This portion of News Watch 12 is brought to you by Furniture and Appliance Mart.
Welcome back here to Up North at 4. Chris Hahn is joining us now on the couch because Oktoberfest, everyone's favorite fall-themed festival, is finally back in Rhinelander this weekend, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Cool. This Saturday.
This Saturday, where exactly is that taking place?
So the Old Kern School. So it's 315 South Oneida Avenue. Big brick building between the courthouse and Burger King.
And this is not a small fest. This is a big fest. There's a lot going on.
True.
What are some of the events this year?
So we have a couple of things. We have a Polka Karaoke contest, which is new this year.
Polka Karaoke contest.
Say that 10 times
Polka
fast.
Karaoke contest. Polka Karaoke. I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't either. A German spelling bee we're doing. We got Hammerschlagen, which is the log pounding in the nail game. We have keg rolling this year, and then of course a couple live bands. In a beer, you can't say no to
this is interactive.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
This is interactive.
You got to earn your drinks, is what I'm hearing. Well, I got to go back, though. You said keg rolling?
Correct.
What's going on with
So
this?
it's kind of like bowling, but with kegs.
Oh, okay. What are we knocking down?
Well, 4x4s. So it's pretty much bowling, just a bigger scale and more fun.
Okay, and what's the German thing?
So there's a German spelling bee. So it's going to be to see how good we are at spelling words in German.
You know, Michael Lodholtz is here, and he knows German.
He knows a lot of German. It's probably bad to admit. So my last name is Mayhawk, which is extremely German. I know very little German.
So you're signed up. You're good to go.
I didn't say that, Chris. Right? I know, though. I'm sure I've got
I think the mayor signed you up.
Ancestors just rolling in their graves right now, like we failed him, you know. But Polka Karaoke too.
Yep. Yeah. So one of the music acts is Dave Melvin, which is Frat Boys Karaoke. So he's kind of being the MC of the day as well as music in the beginning. We have Jim Pecco, who's a local polka artist, and then we have Old Pine Road Band, which is David Walter, who's a local too. So I mean, between that, it's just between beer, music, and events, and it's a craft show. We have over 70 different vendors there doing everything from wood carving to we have a realtor to everything in the middle.
Are we going to hear you singing polka?
Absolutely not.
Well, okay, so I can get voluntarily signed up for the spelling bee.
Come on, Mayor, we can do this.
Come on.
That's the perk of running the event.
Whatever.
He's got connections.
Fair enough. Tell me though, where these are awesome steins, by the way.
Correct.
How do these come into play?
So pretty much whoever wins the spelling bee or the polka karaoke, that's what you win. And there's a little bit more that we can't say unless you win. But those are the two custom things that are one of a kind, and every year we're going to keep remaking them, but slightly different. So you could win this if you win.
He's going to talk me into this, Jeff.
But here's the thing. Nate, with short notice things, he's not good at them. So he needed like a month's notice for this.
So next year, you could win.
Thanks, Mayor. Yes. He's in Polka Karaoke next year.
I don't like this. You two teaming up together is not fair.
Fun. But it is this weekend. We're talking this weekend.
Yes. Correct.
All right, which is just 2 days away.
Correct.
And it's going to be a blast. And where is it again? Right downtown?
Yep. Well, 315 South Oneida. It starts at 10 a.m. It goes to 8:30 at night or until we run out of beer. So maybe later.
Mayor, if we run out of beer, that's going to make national news.
I don't think I could get reelected if we run out of beer.
Can't be doing that. So we're just going to act like you didn't say that.
Nope.
Right? In the meantime, though, Chris, this is going to be a blast. I'm going to try, hopefully, to stop out there. Because who doesn't love Oktoberfest? I love it in all of its forms. But in the meantime, we'll take a break, though. We'll be back here on the other side of Up North at 4. Stick with us.
Polka Karaoke. Polka Karaoke.
This portion of News Watch 12 is brought to you by Kitchen Bath Mart.
Like most people, I bust my butt day in and day out. I earn every dime of my paycheck. It's the Wisconsin way.
But Governor Tony Evers supports paying welfare benefits to people who won't work, even after they turn down job offers.
That's a disgrace.
That's a disgrace.
It's a slap in the face to hardworking people like us.
Tony Evers should know better.
Tony Evers should know better, but he doesn't.
Tony Evers, our failed liberal governor.
Wet basements, cracked walls, musty crawl spaces, and settling concrete only get worse with time. And the longer they're left untreated, the more money they cost to repair. SureDry has been focused on stabilizing foundations and repairing basements and concrete for over 28 years. We understand the root causes of foundation and concrete problems and work closely with those we serve to develop permanent solutions. If you have concerns with your foundation or concrete, call us for a free estimate today. Because these issues won't get better with time, they only get better with SureDry.
Welcome to Patchouli Garden in Park Falls. We love authentic Indonesian patchouli and we specialize in our original custom blends. Everything with the Patchouli Garden name on it we make right here in our store. Visit Patchouli Garden in the store or online.
Enjoy the serenity of northern Wisconsin all year long. First stop, Shquagaman Adventure Company. Skis, skates, snowshoes, and fat bikes. Kayaks, canoes, and paddleboards. Shquagaman Adventure Company. Stop by the store or visit us online.
Think crime is bad now? Mandela Barnes would make it worse. Barnes would eliminate cash bail even after the Waukesha Christmas parade attack, supports amnesty and sanctuary cities for illegals, and had worked for a radical group that wants to defund the police. Barnes has a long record of smearing police while spending your tax dollars on security for himself. Mandela Barnes, wrong on crime, dangerous for Wisconsin. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Northland Basement Systems is the all things basementy company. Basement waterproofing, basement finishing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. When it comes to basement solutions, nobody does it better than we do. Since 1991, homeowners just like you in the Northland have trusted Northland Basement Systems for all things basementy in their homes. Call Northland Basement Systems today to schedule a free home evaluation.
Welcome back to Up North at 4. Now, Jeff, if you'll excuse me, I gotta... It's the most wonderful time. I'm talking football season is back. It's favorite part of the year. Thursday night, football night in America, of course. Bills, Rams in SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Jeff, I'm picking the Bills in this game. Who do you?
I got the Bills as well.
You picking the Bills?
Yes.
All right, I can stick with that. That's a good choice. So, of course, you can catch that game on our station here on NBC later tonight. I'm so excited for football to be back, and I've even got the football tie on.
He had his jersey on earlier.
I had my jersey on.
It's on NBC tonight, like you said. So you know,
I'm so excited. But a few days ago, we had our office fantasy football draft, and as much as I do love football, the one kind of dark side about football is fantasy and how competitive it gets. There's been an ungodly amount of smack talk within these walls the past few days, especially from him, believe it or not. The guy
my team's in third place.
We haven't played a game.
It's ranked in third place.
We haven't played a game, and they just are ranking him
which gives
third.
Me some hope, so I need to talk about that.
Yeah, but in the meantime, Jeff and I decided to do a little bit of a digging, right? So we were looking at each other's rosters and trying to decide, you know, come up with some roasts of each other's teams, right? Yeah. So, for example, Jeff is starting Tua Tagovailoa as his quarterback on his fantasy team, you know, the lefty from the Miami Dolphins. So I gave Jeff a name suggestion saying, hey, why don't you name your team Tua Tagovailoa? Because you're going to throw a lot of interceptions. What do you think about that one?
Tua Tagovailoa.
Can I convince you to?
No, nope, not going to change it.
Fair enough. All right. So then I also decided to draft DJ Moore. He is a wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers. Look at him.
This one's easy to poke fun at.
So that's what Jeff said. And then he came up with a team name for me. DJ, more losses than wins. Good.
It was too easy.
That one I did. That one I kind of served up to you on a platter. So it was interesting, though. A very common fantasy football strategy is if you draft a certain quarterback, you try to go grab one of their wide receivers, their tight ends. Right. You did that, for the Miami Dolphins because you drafted Mike Gesicki, which is also kind of a cool name to say if you... Gesicki, it's fun to say. But again, you're making this one too easily for me, Jeff. How about you name your team Mike Gesicki? What do you think about that one?
You know, I think we can say that word in prime time, but this might be a bit early. We could get fined for that, probably.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Send the fine over, FCC.
It'll come to me.
I'll take it. But my quarterback, meanwhile, so while he has Tua, I picked up Lamar Jackson, one of the coolest, swaggiest quarterbacks in all of the league.
Sure about that?
And then Jeff comes back and hits me with the, why don't you call your team? Sorry, Miss Jackson.
This team ain't for real.
You got a good Andre 3000?
This team ain't for real.
There it is. There it is. All right. So I think we got time for one more roast for our fantasy football because I picked up Drake London, who I'm expecting big things, the rookie from the Atlanta Falcons. And then Jeff decides to hit me with, why don't you call your team the Drake Sad Day 4 London. Jeff.
Too soon?
Way too soon. Come on. All right. So any complaints, direct them at Jeff, and we're just going to be going head-to-head at fantasy. I'm sure we'll have more quips for the rest of the season. But in the meantime, Jeff, we're going to take a break, and up north at 4. Stick with us on the other side.
Sad.
Are you ready for something new? At Cost Cutters, we'll give you a look that will have you listening to lots of compliments. Buy products you love this month at Cost Cutters during our buy one, get one half off sale on all Leader professional products.
Hey, I've got a huge announcement. I'm returning to the game of trivia. Rival schools in the ultimate quiz show. Coop, you're an avid reader. Of books? No. Bless your heart.
Capital One College Bowl premieres Friday on NBC.
These are actual crime scenes across Wisconsin. Yet Mandela Barnes supports defunding the police.
The minute you talk about reducing a police department's budget, then it's like all hell breaks loose, and everybody acts like you're signaling Armageddon. But that's not the case. It's about reallocating funds.
And where did your tax dollars get reallocated to? More police security for Barnes. Mandela Barnes. Less safety for you, more for him. Wisconsin Truth Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
At Legacy, we transform your old, beat-up concrete into a beautiful, durable surface in one day. Hi, I'm Joey with Legacy Concrete Coatings. We specialize in garages, patios, pool decks, basements, and more. We don't just coat over your old concrete. We start by grinding it down, then we apply the base coat and chip and seal it with our own proprietary sealant that will never chip or peel. Our coatings are beautiful, durable, ridiculously easy to clean, and are backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. Our in-house team is ready to answer any questions that you have before and after the install. And right now on all projects, we're offering 15% off. Call the number shown below or visit our website for your new floor today. Day floor.
Love your career. Cost Cutters will support you in achieving your career goals. With competitive wages, great benefits, and up to a $2,250 sign-on bonus. Stop in or visit costcutters.com to find your nearest location.
Welcome back to Up North at 4. One last order of business. They wanted us to mention it. The Rhinelander Food Pantry is looking for volunteers for the Harvest Hoedown. So if you are interested, please feel free to contact them on their website. But Jeff, tomorrow, we're kind of crossing our fingers.
Lots going on. So football, of course, is tomorrow evening. The games, to me, look like they're going to get in. And then right after the game, or just like last week, kind of at the end of the game, it's going to start raining again. And that could impact a couple games tomorrow. And then the weekend, it's one of those. Like we're in this cycle now. Every 2 weeks, we seem to have like a goofy, kind of rainy, cooler weekend. That's going to happen for us Saturday and Sunday. Highs, upper 60s, low 70s. Not bad with a couple of rain showers around. So not an all-day rain. Many dry hours, too. But we're back in that cycle of a goofy weekend every other weekend, it seems.
Yeah, a little goofy. A little goofy. Say. But the NFL is back, and of course Theo here is getting his nap in before the game.
He'll be on the
tonight,
couch, I know, all weekend. Yeah.
To be watching, just make sure he's energized. So he's taking care of business.
See you at 5,
though, Jeff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow on Up North at 4.
Join us for the Fall Cruising Car, Truck, and Bike Show, Saturday, September 17th from 9 to 3 as part of Colorama at the St. Germain Community Park.
Journey to North Star Mohegan Casino Resort, where winning, excitement, and entertainment unite. This September, we're giving away over $330,000 in cash and prizes, including your chance to take care of business when you win this new Bobcat Mini Track Loader. Receive 1 entry for every 25 points earned daily in September. Earn 2 times entries on Saturdays. And don't miss the grand prize drawing on Friday, September 30th. Come to where the stars align at North Star Mohegan Casino Resort.